particularly when I was at UCLA, I had the opportunity to study in several different areas. I started out as a chemistry major. I had a brief period of time doing astrophysics. Then I went to international affairs, and I was doing French along the way as well. The exposure to all those different areas prepared me very well for teaching different kinds of students. Yale's a different sort of thing, because when you go to graduate school, you specialize in a particular area. And frankly, at Yale, at some of the big schools like that, they train you too well to teach in the classroom. If someone is a good teacher, it's perhaps because they are natural teachers or performers, as the case may be. Vers la fin de mon diplôme à UCLA, j'ai fait des demandes de graduate school pour des études supérieures, comme on dit, en effet, pour une maîtrise ou un doctorat en sciences politiques et en français, justement. Et j'ai été accepté en français à Yale et à Columbia, justement. Donc ça, j'ai décidé de suivre, en effet, le programme à Yale. Et quand vous avez un doctorat en français, il n'y a pas d'autre chose à faire que qu'enseigner, justement. Donc, c'était un peu arbitraire, mon chemin vers l'enseignement. En effet. Ce n'était pas quelque chose que je pensais à faire quand j'étais jeune, justement. Bien le contraire, en effet. When I came here, it was Mary Washington College. Several presidents ago, now we're a university, a lot of different departments now, that more than we had when I came here. I was always very interested in languages, and so I studied French starting in middle school, and was pretty much fluent by the time I went to university. So then I started studying German, and I studied Spanish and Italian and Latin later. I mean, I only speak two really fluently, French and English on a good day, but I can manage in Italian and German, Croatian, because my mother was Croatian. I can read Latin. So whenever I go somewhere, I like to learn a little bit of the language, just to be polite and say thank you in the language and things like that. Nothing, just a lot of hard work, unfortunately. I tell this to students all the time, that there are very few people who just sort of absorb everything when the first time they see it, then they can reproduce it. That's one out of every 500 students maybe is like that. It just takes a lot of hard work, and the more exposure you can get to the language, the better. So hearing different voices, different levels of different speed of speech and so forth, can kind of help you absorb things faster. But it just takes a lot of hard work, unfortunately. Into South America, obviously in North America as well. But about 15 years ago, I started traveling to Asia as well. So I tend to go in the springtime after we're done here. I go to California, where I have a place, and that's when I'll travel to Asia. From there, it's a little easier from there than from here, at least. And when I'm here, I travel to Europe. One summer, I was doing research actually in North Africa, because I've done a lot of work on colonial literature, French colonial literature in the 19th century. So written in the colonies during the period. And so I spent a summer, spent about a month in Tunisia working in their national library, and then I went to Morocco and did some work in their national archives, and then I took a train all around the country. So that was great fun, really interesting. Before the pandemic's changed things a little. It changed my routine a little bit, at least. But before the pandemic, I used to go to France at least twice a year, and sometimes more as well, if I had a conference there or something like that. Since the pandemic, I travel a little bit less, I think, internationally, but I still get there though. So, but many times. When I went to Rome, it was like in 2019, I think it was, the fall of 2019. I was going there to a conference, and when I got there, I was taking a taxi to my hotel, but there had just been the prime minister had just resigned, and my hotel was opposite the Parliament building. So there was an enormous demonstration there, and I couldn't get to my hotel for like hours, So that was pretty crazy. They couldn't come and get me from the hotel, and I couldn't reach the hotel as well. So that was pretty crazy. When I went to, a similar thing happened when I went to Greece. When I was going to Greece, I get a message on my phone because I had a connection through somewhere, I think in Germany, and so I was connecting there to fly to Athens. And there, a message from that hotel on the phone saying that a national strike had been called, and the taxis were respecting it as well. So there was no way to get from the airport to the hotel. And so they wanted to know if I had any alternate plans to get to the hotel, like renting a car or something. So they ultimately arranged something for me. But I tend to see there tend to be political problems in places I go for some reason. Qui est d'origine italienne et française allemande justement, d'une petite ville sur la frontière entre la France et l'Allemagne. Mais il est né aux États-Unis, justement, en effet. Donc, j'ai toujours des parents, des cousins éloignés en Croatie, justement, en effet. Mais la famille de mon père, en effet, tout le monde a immigré aux États-Unis, justement. Donc, il n'y a pas de cousins, cousines en Europe. J'ai toujours aimé le cinéma, même quand j'étais très jeune, justement, avant d'aller à l'université. Je ne sais pas, ça, ça, ça encourage mon imagination, justement. J'adore le cinéma, justement. Même l'acte de regarder un film, justement, je l'adore, mais enseigner le cinéma est intéressant aussi, justement. Je crois que tout le monde aime le cinéma, en effet. Mais je suis fortuné, en effet, que je peux enseigner quelque chose que j'aime, comme le cinéma, en effet. Regarder des films, c'est du travail pour moi, en effet. There was once, many years ago, a student from one of my classes was arrested as they were leaving class. The police were waiting outside to arrest him. I don't know for what purpose, but that was memorable, to say the least. I was chair for the department for many years, so a lot of the crazy stories came my way of what was going on with students in the department. So, yeah, there are too many to fit into your documentary. That could be a whole separate documentary.